Online students, is my voice is loud and clear? Done. So in the last class, we are discussing about the strings. And in today's class, let us move on to the next further topic called as list. List and tuples. Okay. So next we are going to keep the heading called as advanced data types. Within the Python, we are going to discuss advanced data types. Keep the heading called as advanced data types. Now, what is the difference between the fundamental data types versus advanced data types? What is the difference between these two? Miss, in the fundamental data types, they can store a single value. What are the fundamental data types we are having? Fundamental data types can store single value, can store one value in a object, can store a single value in a object, can store only one. Whereas advanced data types, what are the advanced data types we are having? The advanced data types can store, can store multiple values, can store multiple values in a single object. That is the difference between the fundamental data types versus advanced data type. So in the fundamental data types, we have discussed int, float, bool, and string. So these are the four things which we have come before in the fundamental data types. Whereas in advanced data types, we are having the list, tuple, set, and dictionary. So these are the four advanced data types. So here fundamental data types can store a single value. Sir, but string will be stored multiple? No, sir. No. String means basically it is a string is single value, a single value with multiple characters. Inside that characters are multiple, but value is single only. String value is basically single string value, but characters are multiple characters are there. Okay. Yeah, Ajay. Means value type and reference type, it is right, obviously. So what are the values are there? For example, you want to store in this four single values we have discussed now. In this four, take any combination, two of them. Either int and int, int and float, int and bool, int and string, or float and float, float and bool, and float and string, like that. Any combination. Like single values, you know, right? Now combine the multiple values. How you know single value? Take the multiple values and you want to store the multiple values in a single object, within a single object. Now, so we are going to use the advanced data types here. Now for that, list is there, tuple is there, set is there, and dictionary is there. Now what is the difference between these four of them? First, list, second, tuple, third, set, fourth, dictionary. In this four of them are advanced data types. Four of them common is advanced data type and can store the multiple values. This is common in four of them. Now what is different means, whatever the multiple values we are having now, the multiple values are stored in the within the list in square bracket. Within the square bracket, each value is stored in the square bracket. What are the multiple values you are having? All the multiple values are stored in the square bracket. In the tuple, the multiple values are stored in the parenthesis, a normal general bracket. Instead of square bracket, a normal bracket. In the set, the multiple values are stored in the curly brackets. The difference is curly brackets. Right? Now first, let us focus on these three of them. Which three? List, tuple, and set. Let us focus. Dictionary is a separate one, special one. Let us discuss later that one. First, let us complete these three. Once we understand these three, automatically dictionary will be easy. Now, list consists of multiple values. The values are stored in the square brackets. Each value is separated by the comma. In the tuple also, each value is separated by comma. Set also, each value is separated by comma. Now, whatever the values you are having, the do values, what are the values are there? It will accepts all data types. How many data types are there? Every data type it will accept. All the data types it will accept. Which one? List. List will accept each and every data type. No issue with the list. Okay, every data type it will accept. Next, so to show the difference, instead of using the notepad, just I'm going to use one Word document for typing purpose. Instead of using this one, just let me insert here one table. In that table, I'm writing here list, tuple, set, and dictionary. 4 of them. Okay. Now for these 4 of them, what are we are having? First, list. What are the list is there? List. Inside the list, we can have the empty list. We can also have the empty list. Let me add one more column here. So first one is empty list. How to create the empty? How to create the empty list? Empty tuple, empty dictionary like this. So to create the empty list, we are having the empty square bracket. This is one way. Or second way. What is the second way is list of. These are the 2 ways to create the empty list. Empty list means an object is created, but internally values are not there. No values. Object with no values is called as empty. A object with no values. How to create the tuple? Tuple will be created by storing the empty parenthesis. This is one way. And the second way is just by writing the tuple of. This is second. Third one is set, where you are having in the set empty curly brackets. Okay, this option is not available. You are having only one option called as empty set of. This one. This is the only option which you are having. The first option is not available. So for creating the empty list, 2 options are there. For creating the empty tuple, 2 options are there. For empty set, only one option is there. Okay, now this empty, what is meant by empty? Object. Object, what are the object is there? Object with no value. The object with no value is called as empty. Now object, what are the object is there? Object filled with values. Object filled with values. What are the values are there? Values. Okay, object is going to be filled with values. Here in the object, we are going to have the, in the brackets, within the brackets, each value is separated by the comma. One bracket is separated by the comma. Right? Right? Next, here all the values are separated by the tuple. In the tuple, every value is separated by this, like this. Okay, this is a list, this is tuple. And the next, in the set, within the set, we are having the, like this, curly brackets. What are the curly brackets are there? Curly brackets. So list, empty list can be created. A list can be created with the multiple values. Tuple also can be created with multiple values. Set also can be created with the multiple values. Filled with multiple values. What are the values are there? You are going to fill with the multiple values. Each of them are separated by the comma. Okay. Yes. It is empty list. Sir, here list of is nothing but function, sir. Or it is empty curly brackets. Even if you are asking to convert, next one is called as typecasting. Typecasting means if you want to convert anything to list, you are going to write list of. Okay, in the function you have to write the value. So what value you are writing, it will be converted to list. For example, if you are not writing anything value, so nothing will be converted to list. It is going to create an empty list. It is going to create empty list. For example, you have written some value, then value or variable, something you have written, then that will be converted to list. So tuple of value means it will be converted to tuple. Set of, it will be converted to set of. If you don't write inside anything, then in that case, what it is going to give? Empty. It is going to give the empty. It is going to store the empty. Now, values. What are the values you are having? The values can be duplicated or not. Duplicate values are accepted or not means duplicate values are accepted in the list, in the tuple, but in the set, no duplicates. No duplicates are accepted. That is the first difference. What is the difference between the list, tuple and set means? Values are stored in the bracket. Okay. What is the advantage? Storing in a different bracket. What is the advantage? Means it will not store. Okay. Stores the duplicate values or not miss. Store duplicates will be done only by the list. List will store the duplicates. Stores duplicate means list will store, tuple will store, set will not store the duplicates. Next one is types of values. What are the different types of values it is going to store? What are the different types of values? I told you now, it is going to store the multiple values. What are the different types of values? Means all data types. How many are there? All the data types it will accept. Every data type it will accept. What about the tuple? Tuple also will accept all the data types. Whereas set will not accept all the data types. It accepts only the fundamental data types. What are the fundamental data types are there? Fundamental data types plus tuple. It will accept the tuple, but it will not accept the other data types. So whereas here in this case, it is going to accept the all data type values. There is no restriction. But whereas we are having the restriction within the set, what is the in the set we are going to accept means it will accept only the fundamental data types and tuple and tuple and tuple. It will accept only these. Or in other words, we call it as immutable data types. It will accept the immutable data types. What is mutable versus immutable? I'm going to explain in the today's class. Okay, it will accept only the immutable data types. Whereas this will accept the both mutable and immutable data types. Next, whether we are having the indexing, yes or no, miss, it is having the indexing. This is also having the indexing, but this is not having the indexing. No indexing. Index numbers are not available. Set is not having the indexing. No. Whereas list and tuple is having the indexing. Okay. Since indexing is there, automatically slicing. What about the slicing? What about slicing? Slicing is yes, it is applicable. Here also yes, it is applicable. Here it is no. Indexing on not there means slicing is not possible. In the set, there is no slicing within the set. Right? Next, what are the values are there? It will accept the duplicates and it will accept the all the different data types. Is the points are clear, guys? Now, then, sir, you have shown the difference in the set. Okay, when compared to other set is something different. Okay, but what is the difference between the list and tuple other than bracket? Other than bracket, what is the difference means? Here, the list is called as mutable data type. The list is called as mutable data type. Whereas tuple is called as immutable data type. That is the difference, main difference between the list versus tuple. What is the difference means? This is the one. First question. What is mutable? What is immutable? So here I'm writing the one of the most important interview question within the Python. So what is difference between mutable data type? Make a note of this one very clearly. Mutable versus immutable data types. What is the difference between mutable versus immutable data types? So mutable data type, what are the mutable data type you are having? The mutable data type, okay. So we can do the modification. We can modify the values. We can modify the values within same object. Within the same object, we can modify the values. Whereas immutable data types, we cannot modify the values within the same object. We can't modify the values within the same object is called as immutable. That is the difference between mutable versus immutable. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain with all these things with an example. Just I'm writing here everything one by one. I'll explain with the example. Now, so here, what is the meaning of this mutable means? We can modify the values. What are the values are there in the same object? For example, let's take an example like this. Let's create one object. In this case, okay, I'm writing here A is equal to 10. Now what it is going to do? It will create 110 with A. This is the one which is going to do. After creating this, now, okay, here again I'm writing the A is equal to 20. Now what is the latest value of A, guys? If I ask print A, what is print A? It is going to print the 20. Now my question is, it is going to store the 20. That is okay. Now how it is going to store? That is the question. Sir, how it is going to store means? See, two ways are there. Observe these two ways. Two ways are there. First way is, it is going to create one object with 20 and A. This is one option. Old object will be as is. Old object 10. What are 10 is there? It with A. This is first line of code. This is first line of code. When I execute the second line of code, automatically it will create a separate object 20 with A. Now first object will be deleted. Why first object will be deleted? Because if both the objects are available, if it is not deleted, if you ask print A, then in that case, which one it has to print? For example, both of them are available means, then which A? At the same time, I am asking A plus 50. A plus 50 means which A? 10 or 20 A? So that is the reason it will always remove the old one. With the same variable name, two objects cannot be created. So that is the reason automatically it will delete the old one. Now here, observe this point very clearly, guys. When I'm writing this particular code, 10 with A completed. When I'm creating this one, when this line was executed, here two options are there. What is the option one means? It will create a new object with 10 with, after creating it with a new object with 10, it will write the name A. Means case 1. What is the option 1? Option 1. Create a new object. Create new object with new value. What are the new values they create with the new object with new value, and delete old one. Delete old. This is option 1. Option 2 is, why to do all these things? Directly already 10 is there with A na. Why to delete and why to create everything separately? Here itself, let us replace. Already A is there. Replace with 20. This is 2. Point is clear? Two options are clear. One is directly replacing in the original object. What are the two options? Tell me. Option 1. What is option 1 I told you? It will, in the option 1, it will create a new object with latest value. With latest value, it will create a new object, and at the same time also delete old object. What are the old object is there? That one it will be deleted. This is option 1. Second option, what is option 2? As I've told you, what is the option 2, guys? Option 2 is simply replace. Okay, so option 2 is replace the old value. What are the old values there? Old value with new value. replace the old value with the new value in the same object. Why to create unnecessarily different in the same object only you do? So for example, if you are choosing the first option, then it is called as immutable object. Immutable. If you are choosing the second one, then it is called as mutable object. If the answer is first one means immutable, if the answer is second one means mutable. For all the immutable objects, it will delete the previous one and it will create the new one. It will not replace. Why it will not replace means the object was created like that, where it will not have the option to replace. It has to create. Okay, for example, you are in a house. Okay, and that house, what are the wall is there? For example, in this house only, we are sorry, what are the room I'm having as of now? In this room, I'm having the some here the paint. What are the paint is there? I want to change the paint. The present paint is there now. That color I'm not interested. What are the paint you are seeing as of now? I'm not interested with that color. I want to change the color to white color. I'm interested white. So I want to change the entire room painting with white. Now tell me, can I change or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? What are the room paint is there? I can change or not? Yes or no? Tell me, according to you. So this is Naresh IT building, na? Can I change the paint? No. Here Naresh sir only can change the paint. I cannot change. I cannot change. So when we cannot change, when we can change means when we are staying in the rented house, we cannot do the modifications. When we are staying in our own house, we can do what are the modifications we are interested. Both of them are called as houses only. Why that house is different and why this one is rented, one is own, where you can do the modification of your choice. Right? So whenever you are able to do the own modification of your choice, then it is called as mutable. Otherwise, it is called as immutable. Now come to here. Okay, let's see with an example. Okay, for example, I'm writing a is equal to 10. This is a. As I have told you, a is equal to 20. First, it will check any existing variable is available. Already some variable a is available. Now, whether it is going to replace or whether it is going to create means, first it will check the type of a. What is the type of a means? Int type. Int type comes under mutable or immutable category means it comes under immutable category. Since it is immutable, it cannot replace. So whichever the immutable objects are there, like int, float, boolean, and string, for all of them, it cannot replace. All of them comes under immutable only. All the fundamental data types are immutable. It cannot replace. It will create a new object and it will delete the old one. So the ID or which is also called as address of the object will be different. The reference will be different. So let us execute here. Okay. First I'm writing here a is equal to 20. Okay, first number I'm going to write or a is equal to 10. Now see here, a is equal to 10, this one. Now I'm writing a is equal to 20 and I'm executing. Now it was changed, value was changed, but my question is what? Value will change, but by creating a new object in the same object, that is the question now. My question is not in terms of that one, right? Whether new value or old value. My question is what? Same object, different object. So for that reason, here first I'm going to execute a is equal to 10 and I'm asking the ID of a. ID of a. What is the ID of a, guys? This is the ID, some address, wherever it is located in your RAM, in your memory, within the memory where it is located. Similarly, I'm asking the ID of a. After executing 20, now a value is 20. Now let us cross check the ID. For 10, it is this value. For 20, what is the ID? Different ID. Different ID means different object. ID means nothing but called as address. Address or reference. Address or reference. So for one building, only one address can be there. One object, only one address. For different object, different address. Is the point is clear? So now in this case, what it has happened means A is equal to 10, separate it has created. A is equal to 20, a separate new object was created and the old object was deleted. Since it is a immutable category, it cannot do the replace. No replace. Is the point is clear? Everyone understood the logic? So Ajay, your question is clear? Now, next, let us try with the float. In the same way, let us try for the float. Now, for example, here I'm going to take one list. As I've told you, list na 2, 3, 4. This is the list. Or I'm writing here 150, 190, 200. Okay, this is the one. Now see here 150, 190, 200. Three are there. Three of them are there. Okay, three values are there inside the list. Now I want to replace the 190. What are the 190s there? Na? I want to replace with 19. For that, I'm writing the code L of 1 is equal to 19. So what is this code? I'll explain later. But can you see here? 190 was replaced with the 19. But my question is what? Whether the ID with 190, ID with 19 both are same or different? With 190, what are the 190 is there? Na? With 190, see 190. Now I am asking the ID of L. ID of L. Okay, with 190, this is the ID, some reference. Now with the 19, now value was changed. Value changed. Okay. Now what is the ID? Now again I'm asking what is the ID means. Now ID was same ID. ID was not changed. Why? Because mutable. For in this case, what happened means first it has created the 150. A object was created like this 150, 190, 200 with L. Now when I ask L of 1, what is the index number 1? This one. In the L of 1, I want to replace the 190 with 19. So where it has replaced? It went inside the object, and inside the object only replacement was done, not by creating a new one. So without creating a new one, something you are able to modify. Inside only you are able to modify. Then it is called as mutable. Point is clear? If you are unable to do like that, it is called as immutable. Yes or no? So you have to check the ID of the previous one, ID of the latest one. Okay. Now let us go into this. Yes. Now the question is here Raj is asking one question. What is the Raj question is what is the need of like this? What is the purpose of doing like this? Because at the ultimately both of them are going to store in the same way now. Whether it creates a new object, whether it does in the same object. So that importance you will see in the further when we are doing the programs now. When the, for example, let's take an example like this. Okay. Here I'm having your batch details, name of the student, name or serial number. Okay. First one is serial number. Serial number of the student, name of the student, and phone number, email ID, and whether the student has registered for the offline or online. Something I'm having. Now, first day, one student has paid the fees and we have registered, we have entered the detail. Second day, one more student. Third day, one more student. At a time, 3 students has came and joined. 3 students has joined on the same day at a time. Okay, 3 students details we have added. One student detail we have added. Three students details we have added. Now, after adding, one of the student wants, sir, my phone number was given wrong, sir. I want to change. So we have changed the phone number. What are the phone number he has given or email ID he has given? We have changed the email ID. Up to here, okay. Now, once the batch was closed means no more additions, no more modifications, no more deletions. So initially it is a list. Once the batch was closed, it will be converted to tuple. Now, once it is converted to tuple, tuple is immutable. List is mutable. In the mutable, what happens? Modification Right? Done, guys.